What is up, everybody? Welcome into episode 36 of the Brahma Bullpen, where we are going to preview our Week 4 matchup with the Michigan Panthers here in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. But first, if you didn't catch our last episode, our starting quarterback for the San Antonio Brahmas is reportedly down and out for the season. So I want to put a caveat out there that these power rankings were voted on before that announcement was made. I do think Dormandy, who's probably going to be our starter this week, is a very capable quarterback. I don't know how much the rankings would move back and forth. I know some of my counterparts at the United Football Media Group would definitely probably move the Brahmas down a little bit if they had voted after the news was made. So let's get to it. Let's get these Cow Pasture Studios rolling. I don't know if you've noticed, but the last few episodes, I'm kind of doing things different. I'm producing myself, popping videos in and out myself. Maybe I'm leaving a few things out that I would normally say, like live from the Cow Pasture. But hey, work with me as I get more comfortable. We're going to get it. All we're doing down here in the bullpen is trying to bring you guys content that works. Also, if you notice, some of our videos are a little bit shorter. That's because we're trying to hit the algorithms, yo. We want to make sure that our video is being seen. I don't know why I'm moving my hand so much. Feel free to make fun of me in the comments. But before we get going, the Brahma Bullpen Power Rankings. Understand these rankings are how I voted. We got 20 members inside the United Football Media Group. We have a channel for every team now. We are covering all 8 teams. So if you hate the Brahmas and you watch this show just to make fun of me, and let's say you're a Renegade fan, we got a Renegade guy now. And he's pretty awesome too. He's got that cool style, not like me where I'm all like, herky-jerky or whatever. We even have a Michigan Panthers guy. I don't know him that well yet. I do want to talk some trash to him. Basically, his quarterback can't throw the ball, but if he can run the ball, I digress. We'll talk about that later. I don't even know what my quarterback's going to do this next week, so I don't want to, pick on him too much. But check out everybody on the United Football Media Group, and here are my power rankings. I voted Birmingham Stallions number 1. I truly feel that's a no-brainer after this past weekend. I thought the Brahmas were going to be sneaking up there and nipping at their heels. With the loss to St. Louis, even though it was a very good game, very close and competitive game. If you didn't catch my breakdown, look at the previous episode, episode 35. The stats were phenomenally close. Like, the game really could have went either way on any play. I put St. Louis at number 2. They're definitely the second best team. I put the San Antonio Brahmas, who are 2-1, at number 3. I may have flipped them in the defenders if I had known Chase Garbers was going to be out for the season at the time of this. But we got the defenders there at 4. The defenders basically pulled a Brahmas last week and just took the 4th and 12 at the end of the fourth quarter while trailing, went down there and scored to take the win. So, hey, man, give credit where credit is due. They're 2-1. We do hold the tiebreaker over them right now, so get over it, Webb. Then we got the Michigan Panthers at 5. They had that before the season started. People didn't know what to expect out of Michigan. They were basically thinking they were one of the worst teams in the league. Then they upset St. Louis with that 65-yard field goal, 64. That kicker up there is breaking all kinds of records. And then this past weekend, they actually got their offense going a little bit. We'll look at some of these stats here in a little while. Memphis Showboats, they got a good defense. I don't know what's going on with their offense. Their O-line is struggling, and believe me, I know what a struggling O-line feels like. And it's not really giving Cook as much time in the pocket. He has a pretty questionable completion percentage. It's down around that 55% mark this year, and they really can't run the ball. With all that being said, they're still, I don't know if better or luckier than the Renegades. The Renegades have not won a game yet, but they've been very close. And the Houston Roughnecks have not won a game yet, but they've been close in a couple of them. If you watch my boy Ace's show about the Houston Roughnecks, he is actually, and he's tweeting that there's going to be wholesale changes there in Houston. So don't take my word for it. Go over there to our Houston Roughneck channel. He yells like drill, baby, drill all the time. I don't know what that's all about. But unfortunately, Houston is the number 8 team behind Arlington. We'll see what happens with those wholesale changes. And that's it. Moving on to this week's game. Here it is right now. The UFL Week 4, as you can see, the United Football Media Group power rankings. This was pre-Chase Garbers injury. Over 20 people voted. They had the Brahmas ranked number 3, and they had the Panthers ranked number 4. Should be a really good game down here in the Dome. I personally think this game is going to go a long way into deciding whether the Brahmas can continue to compete with DC. We're going to basically assume St. Louis is probably going to get that first playoff spot there in the conference. We're hoping that the Brahmas will get that second playoff spot. We should be able to give DC a run for our money, but we got to win these games, and we got to see if we can't steal us one down the road. But the game is going to be this Saturday, April 20th at 7 p.m. Listen, San Antonio Brahmas, members of the Brahma Bullpen, go to the Dome. It's 7 o'clock. Look, go downtown, grab yourself a margarita, park close, get a bite to eat, walk over to the Alamo Dome, come by the Brahma Bullpen tailgate. We have all the free booze you can eat. Last week we had about 7 or 8 different kinds of bottles. We had Jello shots going around. You know, we have soda, waters. Heck, man, you just want a cold water, you don't even drink, come have a water, come have a soda. We got cornhole set up. We have music. We had football playing this past weekend because the early game was on. Come down there, have a good time, go in and watch a game. It's $20, $25 to get in the game. Hell, man, go comment on my video from a week ago, and I'll give you 2 damn tickets. Shoot, man, come on, let's go to the game. Come on, Brahmas, don't let me down. But getting into this game breakdown, let's look at some what we consider key stats. Key stats from the game. So as you can see here, Week 4 preview, both teams are 2-1. The overall PFF score for the Brahmas is a little bit higher. We're at 71.7. Michigan's right there at the 67.70. Points scored for the Brahmas, 71. We've given up 62. It's a little bit closer margin there for the Panthers at 55 and 56. One thing, our completion percentage was still real high. Chase Garbers was still making passes a little over 70% compared to 63% for the Panthers, but we'll have to see how that goes this next week. We do know that Dormady had very good stats when he got in the game last year. He was a starting quarterback in the XFL for Orlando after another Orlando quarterback got hurt, and Dormady went in there and did some great things. Who knows, man? Maybe by the time this video comes out on Thursday, leading up to the game, the Brahmas might have signed some other mysterious quarterback that's going to get the start. But you'd have to think the A.J. Smith offense is something someone's going to come in right off the street and start running. So I would think Dormady or Flacco would get the start for sure over someone off the street. My guess is Dormady. We'll see. If I'm wrong, go ahead and feel free to make fun of me in the comments. Passing yards total for the season, 588 for the Brahmas, 587 there for the Panthers, so very, very close. Rushing yards, we're averaging 3.8. They're averaging over 4 yards per rush, 213 yards for us, 280-plus yards for them. The defenses are very, very close. We're going to highlight some defensive players here in a little bit, but the overall PFF score for the Brahmas is 72.8, 71.4. For the Panthers, very close. You can see team total tackles for the year. We're at 115. They're 120. I put the total tackles marker in here because that shows me how much the defense is on the field, you know. You could put time of possession and things like that, but comparing number of hits given, and then sacks. Our sacks are 11-6, you know, getting there in the backfield. So showing that we're getting some pressure. Although this last week against St. Louis, we were short Delonte Scott. We'll watch for that injury report, see if he might be able to come back. We don't know. That would be some good news after the Chase Garbers stuff came out this week. And then receiving percentage allowed, we're a little over 64%. They're a little over 65%. So our cornerbacks are definitely doing the job, right? So we're doing what we got to do to keep our offense in the game. And all these stats, as always, come from PFF.com. There's so many stats on there. I try to just pick out the ones every week, the same ones every week, because these are the ones I feel are probably the most important. Little defense, a little offense. You know, if you see a certain stat that you guys want to throw up on these graphics and discuss, put it in the comments, man. I'd love to do that instead of me just making stuff up all the time. With that, we're going to get into our comparison. Last week, we started doing the preview shows where we picked a an offensive player and a defensive player from each team and kind of compared them back and forth. I did not do quarterbacks last week. I felt that was an easy out. This week, I am going to do quarterbacks. The problem is I don't have any Dormandy stats. Now, we got some stats from E.J. Perry, and we got some highlights videos. I think E.J. Perry struggled in games 1 and 2, especially in game 1, and he's slowly getting better. He's getting into the offense. Not necessarily with his arm, a lot with his legs and his running ability. And so our defense this week is going to have to be on its toes. They may even want to consider running spies on third downs or second downs or in the red zone. And I'm going to show you some highlights to prove to you why. Let's roll it.
Perry will scramble. He's got room. Touchdown for the Ivy League man.
I mean, there he wasn't scared of contact, put his head down forward, didn't slide, didn't give himself up, did what he had to do to get in there. And then, watch this play right here.
Perry keeps, and E.J. Perry trying to ice his bad boy.
RPO, head down, running forward, not scared to get involved in some contact, not scared to get hurt. Although he better be careful, right? Quarterbacks are getting hurt around here in the league these days. But so one of the things is if we can shut down the run, then we got to do the pass, right? And we're going to kind of throw this cornerback comparison up here. I like these little superhero graphics, kind of cool playing around with them. But, Phillips is the number 1 rated cornerback in the entire league, right? So Darius Phillips, overall PFF score is a 92.8. He's got 8 tackles. He's giving up a 58.3% completion percentage, which is tops in the league. Levante Taylor, down for the Panthers, he's no slouch himself. He's a 74.7 PFF score. That's the total score. That's factor in, tackles, receptions allowed, turnovers, so on and so forth. He gives up a 60% completion ratio, which is 6th in the league. And we got some highlight videos, right? We're going to throw up some. We gave E.J. Perry a little love. Let's give my boy Phillips a little love.
And on a 3rd and goal, Ta'amu to the sideline. He is picked. Darius Phillips off to the races.
Don't run out of gas, baby.
Harmon trying to run him down. Phillips to the 5.
He almost made it, man. He almost made it. Ran a little out of gas. That's all right. Let's check another Phillips highlight from just this last week's game. So you see Phillips doing his thing. I threw the quarterback graphic back up here. Wanted to go over a little bit of E.J. Perry stats. He is a 55.8 overall rating, 63.2% completion percentage, and he's been sacked 9 times. So you can see the offense maybe struggled just a little bit, But our cornerbacks might be able to do the deal, right? If Darius can lock down their receivers, outplay his counterpart, who knows? We might have a chance in this game. So let's go over all the games for the league this weekend. We're going to go through them in order, go with our week 4 predictions. I basically took all the home teams this weekend. Showboat's going 2 Battlehawks. Do I really need to explain that to anybody? Battlehawks, top 2 teams in the league, as everybody thought at the beginning of the season. There's even rumors Ja'Kyr Pearson might be coming back this week. If he comes back, forget about it, man. I think this, with the running backs in St. Louis, Monte Teo and getting Pearson back, and then with Butler and getting on a roll, getting on the same page with AJ, hey, man, I think Battlehawks are just going to keep getting better from here on out. Unfortunately, everyone else just in the XFL conference just needs to step up with them. DC Defenders going to Birmingham. Birmingham is the class of the field, best team in the league. I don't know if they're going to lose a game or not. If anyone has a chance of beating them, I guess maybe it is the Defenders at this point. I don't know if they can get their running game going and learn how to tackle. I mean, I watched the Defenders game last week, and it looked like they hadn't done a tackling drill all year. So who knows? Maybe they did tackling all this week, and they're ready to go. And if they can tackle in open space, and if they can get 75-plus yards rushing on this Birmingham Stallions defense, that way they don't get too one-sided. Who knows what could happen, right? Defenders have proved that they got a little fight in them, right? They came back last possession of the game last week to win the game, copying the Brahmas, because that's what we did to them. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, go for it. Panthers coming to the Brahmas. We already talked about this matchup. I think if Dormady has been getting the reps in practice like I hope he has, I think our offense should be able to just keep on sailing. He's an accurate passer. He's going to get time. Our O-line's playing great this year. McFarland is just enough of support in the backfield. Keeps those defenders worried about the run just enough, along with those bubble pass and screen passes that we throw all day. You get that ball out in just a couple of seconds. You don't have to worry about getting sacked and just be accurate with it. I think Dormady's our guy, and he can do that. I also think our defense is at least equivalent to the Panthers' defense. The Panthers got a great linebacker, but so do the Brahmas. So I think the running games are probably going to get shut down this week. I don't foresee a lot of rushing yards, but let's see what happens on the passing yards. And I do think we have the advantage in the passing game. Our wide receivers are a little better. Sims on the Panther side, pretty good wide out. Looks to be more of a deep threat than a possession threat. And then Roughnecks and the Renegades. Someone has to win a game here. They're both 0-3. I think the Roughnecks defense is a little bit better. I probably would give the quarterback edge to the Renegades. But who knows what's going to happen with the Roughnecks. Wholesale changes this week. And they're home, so let's get them a little home cooking. Hopefully, there's at least a couple of Houston friends that show for the game this year. We'll see, man. I don't know. I mean, this week. Why did I say year? I always say year. Hopefully, some Roughnecks fans show up for the game this week, because the attendance at the last home game, not good. All right, and getting into the final graphic here, my score prediction for the Brahmas and Michigan game is 24-22. So what I did for this prediction is I looked at the average score for each team and kind of just went that route. So the Brahmas are averaging right at 24 points a game. The Michigan Panthers are averaging right at 22 points a game. I think it's going to be a very close game. I don't know who's going to win. This is just a prediction. Last week, wins and losses, I went 4-1. I'm now 8-2 for the season. So we'll see what we are next week, and hopefully the Brahmas get that win, baby. As always, to all the players out there putting your bodies on the line, we appreciate you guys. We hope for y'all to stay healthy. Nobody wants to see injuries. Dormady, don't let me down. Let's go, baby. Horns forward. We'll be there tailgating. Y'all show up at the Dome. Get your tickets. They're $20. Come on. Get your tickets.